it's wrong to ask the question. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erik van Mechelen, and I live in Minneapolis. And like the previous speaker, I've enjoyed going around different counties and speaking with our elected officials. I think it's great that we have a chance to do this, and I appreciate your attentiveness today and the extra time to have all of us speak. So just a few comments. First of all, I think the Secretary of State, Steve Simon, missed a golden opportunity in January of this year when the Crow Wing County, the people of Crow Wing County, after 6 consecutive county commissioner meetings, persuaded their county commissioners to pass a resolution 4-1 to ask for a forensic audit. Their county attorney actually recommended they not unseal their own ballots, so they asked the Secretary of State for that, and he declined. So the question is, why decline to do a forensic audit, not just of the count, like a recount might do, but of all the election records, both physical and digital, and of that process? Because now you're not just looking at one aspect, you're looking at the full process. So that was obviously a very red county from the perspective of the voting population. So that wasn't going to change the outcome of any election. Why not take a look at that? And I think that decision led a lot of us to actually be more interested in pursuing the truth, because even our Secretary of State didn't seem to want to give attention to a small county up there in Crow Wing after their commissioners and their people desired it. So when I say the people desired it, the previous speaker talked about the awareness that's rising in the country. Rasmussen polls is, as of a few days ago, over 50% of all voters. So that's a majority now. Right, that's a majority in this country, and that's only going to rise because once people look at the data themselves, whether you look at it 100 hours or you take a few hours and read the book that I just put forward that's free, that talks about some of Rick Weibel's data and others, I think people tend to become more curious than less curious in this issue as they start to engage with it. CVRs, that's the last place I want to rest, because the absentee ballot boards are a huge issue from my opinion as we look at overall election transparency, which is what the people, I think, want. Election transparency. Because once you have transparency, you can build your trust in the process and you can build your confidence. So I think we've spoken already about absentee. I want to just make a comment. One of the previous speakers said, how do you as county commissioners know that you were elected fairly? And I think it's an interesting question. I happen to be a Republican Secretary of State candidate, and even if I win the August 9th primary, I'm going to seriously ask for a review of that election. Why would I do that, though? Like, why would I care if I won? Well, it's because I care about the transparency. I want to know that our system is working as it should from every aspect, not just the physical aspects, but the entire modern electronic voting system, which, believe me, if you take a look at my book, it's only an introduction. This is a seriously complicated area, and thank God that people like Rick Weibel want to drive from South Dakota every few weeks to help us understand it. And again, I applaud you for taking time to listen, because that hasn't been the case in every county commissioner meeting we've been to. So thank you for that. And the last thing that I'll say is on the topic of the cast vote records. A number of us have been doing public data requests for these, because under Chapter 13, this is public data that we can request. And there's a statute in the Minnesota statutes that says a complete recapitulation of the election should be available. And the cast vote record does a great job of providing us with that complete recapitulation. When I speak with election officials, I was just speaking with the Stearns County election officials yesterday, I often hear repeated, we have a perfect machine system. If it's perfect, then there should be no issue with turning that ballot capture image on in the scanners. We're paying a lot of money for it anyway. Let's have that turned on, because simultaneously with that, we'll have a cast vote record functionality turned on. If we turn the ballot capture off, we're turning off the ability to have that cast vote record. That cast vote record has no secret or identifiable information on it. What it's doing is it's capturing every ballot vote total as it's scanned through our tabulators. Okay? And so that, in essence, from my perspective, allows the machine to tell on itself. I say that in a joking way, based on my bias, which I do have, having looked at a lot of the data. But what it is doing is providing us a log of the actual votes as they're going through. And so that is essentially a machine audit, an immediate machine audit that I'm going to call for every county to produce immediately after this election. And so if the machines are also working perfectly, this is as an addendum to the absentee ballot issues that I see. If the machines are also working perfectly, there should be no issue producing a cast vote record in every county in the state. Thank you.
Thank you.